In this presentation, you will learn about the parts of a cell membrane and how they function to control what goes in and out of a cell. Get a blank piece of paper with you and follow along with me and draw your own. Let's begin by identifying the parts with symbols on the right side of my paper. We have phosphates and fatty acids or lipids. I once had a biochemistry teacher who began class by saying, "Students, find a seat for your fatty acids and let's get started." No kidding. Phosphates and lipids combine to form phospholipids, cholesterol, aquaporins, channel proteins, marker proteins, and receptor proteins. The cell membrane is a fluid mosaic, and that means it's made of many parts, and all of those parts can move. I'll draw just a very small part of a cell membrane to give you an idea of how these fit together. The main part of the phospholipid bilayer are phosphates and lipids. The phosphates love water. We'd call them hydrophilic. They are arranged on the outer edge and on the inside edge, creating a barrier between the lipids and the inside and outside of the cell. Hydrophilic means to love water, and the fatty acids or lipid layer in the middle, they are hydrophobic. They act like they are afraid of water. The hydrophobic and hydrophilic nature of the phospholipid bilayer is what holds our cells together. Buried deep within the lipid layer is another lipid-friendly substance called cholesterol. The function of this is to make the membrane more rigid, stronger, so that it is less flexible. We know that in all living things, water must enter and leave cells in order for life to continue. Water, however, is polar. It has a charge on it. So while it might be friendly with the phosphates, it's going to be repelled by the lipid layer. So water must pass through a special pathway called an aquaporin. If water tries to just diffuse across the membrane, it'll be repelled by the fatty acids. So it must get in that aquaporin in order to enter a cell or to leave the cell. There are several other materials that have a charge on it besides water that needs to be able to go into the membrane. These are called ions, and they would be repelled by the lipid layer if they were just to diffuse. Though they're tiny, because of the charge, they must take a special pathway called a channel protein. Things like sodium and potassium that are required for your nerves and for your muscles to function. Keep in mind that these big bulky proteins move around freely in the membrane. They are held in place based on their relationship with water. Parts of these proteins are hydrophilic and parts are hydrophobic. The next structure in the cell membrane reaches out into the extracellular environment, and these are called marker proteins. I'm using flags, and I'm writing the word "me" on them. The immune system uses these to identify self. Marker proteins determine human blood type. You could have marker version A, and you'd have type A blood. You could have version B, you'd have type B blood. A and B would give you type AB blood, or absolutely no marker proteins at all, and then you would have type O blood. The last structure I'll draw for you is a receptor protein. These reach out into the extracellular environment and will bond with various chemicals that may be passing by. This could be hormones, this could be macromolecules. Sometimes, unfortunately for us, it could also be a virus, such as the coronavirus. Now you have all of the structures that make up the cell membrane. If you would like to review, please slow this video down and check out what you've got. Make sure that all of your pieces can be seen and you understand what they all do in order to control what goes in and out of cells. Thank you.